welcome guys to part 3 of the F1 2019 career mode. We're here for the Chinese Grand Prix, and after the last race we finally got some developments completed. So the engine power, front downforce and weight reduction have been completed. In terms of where that puts us with the other teams, I gotta find that map. Alright, this is just gonna do its thing. So if we go to progress history, we are above Racing Point, we're above Toro Rosso, Alfa Romeo and Williams. Mercedes have taken the lead ahead of Ferrari in terms of R&D. Red Bull have done a few things, and Haas has overtaken Renault. So we've got a while to go until we catch up to Renault in the R&D side. A long way to go before we catch up to the top 3 runners, but we still got a lot more races. It's only the 3rd race of the season. We did come 11th in both races, so hopefully the engine power does help us out.
Welcome to Shanghai, China, for what I've no doubt is going to be a fantastic F1 qualifying session. Looking at this field today, Anthony, do you think we're going to see anyone take a chance? Maybe run the hard tyres and save some of the grippier tyres for the race tomorrow?
Well, I'd be surprised in all honesty. It's only the front runners that really have the pace to get away with that, and even then, at the end of the day, it's a big risk. Track position is the most important thing, and it's rarely worth sacrificing for a slightly more optimal strategy in the race, so I doubt we're going to see anyone trying it. I have been wrong before though. We certainly do see some risky decisions every now and then, and it's a gamble that's sometimes worth taking. But if it were me in the car, I would want to be on the fastest tyre for my qualifying lap, without a doubt.
Okay, so I accidentally pressed start and looks like we're gonna have the basic setup. I don't think I can actually change my setup now. That was very stupid of me. So we're very much stuck. No, wait. What's the once. So I might be able to still change my setup. Car setup, yes. There it is, sweet. Alright, so balance would have been probably great. But we do need that downforce in the corners. Weather-wise, it's going to rain during the race. Qualifying's going to be dry. We're going to have to do a wet setup. Oh, sorry, for the lap, not the race. Everyone seems to be in the pits, which is good for us. We're going to have a clean track. Someone's coming out of the pits. Alright, taking a bit more cautiously through the first corner because we did have a tank slap in and we're going out wide. We may have to already abort this lap. Unless we can make up some time in the rest of Sector 1. We seem to be coming back on our time. No, we're going to have to abort the lap. We're well off the pace. We're half a second in Sector 1 alone, so we're going to abort the lap and go again. Alright, we're in the slipstream of our rival from Formula 2. Much better first corner compared to the last 2 attempts. Stay in the slipstream of Weber. We're just slightly up on our fastest lap. Alright, the slipstream on the back straight is going to help a lot. I don't know how we're not that far up. Like, I feel like this lap's a lot better than our first attempt. And we're only, well, we were slightly up in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Now we're almost 3/10 up. So we sit in the slipstream and Weber's pulling away because he's got a much faster aerodynamic setup than we do, but we're going to just sit in the slipstream. It's still going to be effective. 3/10 up. Can we slightly touch the apex? But this apex we're going to have to hit. We're half a second up on our previous lap. Perfect. 6/10 across the line. Almost 7/10 faster than our previous lap. That is P16. And I don't know if we're going to get time to put in another lap. That's going to be the problem, as the tyres have no grip through that corner. So that's going to be P17 for the race tomorrow. We have Kevin Magnussen ahead of us, Antonio Giovinazzi behind us, and the two Williams down in P19, P20.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Gasly, Max Verstappen and Bottas, Perez, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg and Devon Butler, Grosjean, Weber, Lando Norris and Raikkonen, Albon, Magnussen, Mitchell and Antonio Giovinazzi. Kubica and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Alright, so here we are for the wet Chinese Grand Prix. Car setup, I'm not going to add any more fuel because it's just going to make the car too heavy, I reckon. Expectations from the race, I'm not too sure. I haven't done wet racing on this game yet, so not too sure where we're going to end up. From yesterday, it looked like our setup was more geared towards a wet setup, but for some reason, I think everyone else did, because the fastest lap was a 36, and I think the session expectation was a 34. So I'm not sure. But anyways, we're going to go straight into the race now. We're going to skip the formation lap and go racing for the Chinese Grand Prix. So here we are for the wet Chinese Grand Prix. We have 5 lights. Lights out and away we go. Very fast very fast light sequence. But again, we're just bogging down on the side. I think we did that last race as well. And Kubica and Russell going around the outside of the two Williams. Can we get it around the outside of Giovinazzi? It looks like we are going to. My wheel feels very light. Normally that happens when I'm going too fast into corners, but right now I just don't feel like this car is sticking to the road. I can move the steering wheel and it's super light. But here we go. We got Raikkonen and Albon. Albon's going to close the gap for that attempt. I did not see the grass at all. We're just soaring across the grass. Feels like we just got pushed out of the way then. I could not see the road after Albon closed the door. So, I'm going to look at the inside line now on the two drivers. We've got our Formula 2 teammate, not rival, but our teammate from last season, Weber, ahead of us. Norris ahead of him, who's our current Formula 1 teammate in Mclaren. We're missing the apex. I just don't feel like the car has any grip whatsoever. But that might change later on in the race. Still locking up. Very easy to lock up in the wet. Not a confident wet racer. There's been some times where the car's felt nice, but right now it just doesn't feel like the car wants to behave properly. We're going to go and stick into the slipstream of Weber. He's pulling away slightly, so he might be on a faster setup. As he's definitely pulling away, actually. Gonna have to put that down tire. Yeah. So we got the job done on Weber. Car sliding out. Look. Weber's gonna have a go. Gets the position back as we just slid out on the final corner. But on the launch, like, I reckon that late... Thank you, Jeff. That late braking did cost him the perfect line out of the corner, so we got the job done on him. Norris ahead, and Butler, our Formula 2 rival, ahead of him. Alright, thank you, Jeff. Once again, power unit, the ICE part of the unit isn't going to... we're going to lose some power from it as it continues to wear. So we're going to probably have to be mindful of our shifting. Almost thought it, looking for a dive on. I thought I was going to not do it, but Lando just kept the door well open for us. So that is P12 done and dusted. We have Devin Butler ahead. As what is Butler doing? He's going incredibly slow through that corner. We have a lot more grip than these AI drivers, that's for sure. So it looks like... oh, thought about it. But it looks like the setup they put on was for a drier setup. They just don't have any confidence into the corners. But on the straights, they can just fly past us. So we're going to have to stay in the slipstream on the straights and get them in the corners. Missed the apex. But look at this. Look at how much more grip we have than the AI. We can get them on the corners and out of the corners. It's incredible. P11 now. We are needing to catch up to Grosjean ahead because we have caught up to them. I'm not sure what the time will be. We're going to find out once Sector 1 has finished. And what was Grosjean doing? Was that a tank slapper ahead? I just see Grosjean going out wide. We're going to have a look at a replay of that. Alright, so we're on board with Grosjean. What happened here? Yes, he got onto the grass and had a bit of a moment. It looked like he touched the back of the Renault. So let's have a look from a different angle. He just... out on the grass. Yep, he does touch the back of that Renault. So he may have damage, who knows, but he thought he could do it, and then he just saw the grass, and that could have been Grosjean's race over and done with. So it's nice to see that AI will go for those sort of attacks, even though it would have cost him his own race. Is doing wonders. As now we're going to have a go on Hulkenberg, and out of the corner, look at that, so much more power than Hulkenberg. And Hulkenberg's still there, he's going to have a go down the inside, he is still there. But now we're going to have more power. Look at that. We just pull away and already onto the back of Grosjean. Down the inside of Grosjean. Maybe he's leaving the door open for us. But we're just not going to do it as he takes the line. So we'll get him around the other corners. Especially the start-finish straight. That corner we can get him out. Can overtake him in. Grosjean's right there. I can't get onto full throttle just yet. Now we're going to go full throttle. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Oh, Grosjean, because of his setup, he's just going to get it back. So we're going to go back into his slipstream and get him done in another corner. As we're locking up. Don't want to make contact. At least we have 1 point. We're going to score points for our team. And look at this, again on Grosjean. Can we get him into the corner? Yes, we do. We do get him into that corner, but Grosjean will have the chance to overtake us again right now. So it looks like Grosjean will get us on the straights, but we're going to have to do it in corners a lot sooner. I don't know why he's going so slow. We're going to have to go and overtake him in like this corner. As we get onto the power a lot sooner than Grosjean. Oh man, that is an amazing feeling to have. Yeah, definitely lighter rain now, so we're going to have to wait for Jeff to let us know when's a good time to come into the pits, or we're going to have to see how the tyres feel. As we can start to see a drier line appear, and the tyres are starting to go, so I think this might be our finishing position unless we can catch up to Ricciardo in this corner alone. We're going to have to also lift a little bit. We don't have as much grip as we used to. Oh, Okay. Now we're gonna have to defend from Grosjean. That's not what we wanted at all. So P9, it looks like it will be. As still no grip. Yeah, the rears have overheated. So we're gonna have to. As Grosjean's gonna go on the attack now. Gonna have to go deep and push him out wide a little bit. Oh, the back is starting to slip right now. I don't think I want to. Yeah, tyre wear. Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap of 1:54. Race winner is Lewis Hamilton, so I'm not sure if this game has the extra point for fastest lap. Oh man, that is a very big lockup. Oh, looks like we're going to come home. Final corner first. Yep, we're going to come home in P9. Instead of 1:55.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Okay, so Anthony Davidson was impressed by our performance. We went from P17 to P9 and secured 2 points for McLaren. Lando Norris went from P13 to P14. Unfortunate for him that he couldn't secure any points. In terms of the standings, driver standings, we're currently 14th. Lucas Weber is in 13th. Devin Butler in 8th. So Charles Leclerc stays ahead of Lewis Hamilton with 16 points between the constructors. Standings wise, we are in 8th. We finally have provided McLaren 2 points. I'd hope to have a lot more points for McLaren to be further up. Our rival is pretty much Renault and Haas, sorry. Alfa Romeo and Williams are behind us. Ferrari leads the constructors ahead of Mercedes with a 29-point difference. Red Bull 67 points behind Ferrari. Anyway, guys, that has been the Chinese Grand Prix. It is, to start the race, I wasn't sure. The car didn't feel like it didn't have enough downforce or grip. But as the tyres started to kick in, we definitely, and as you guys saw, we definitely started to overtake a lot more confidence out of the corners. The AI just a bit slow. They got their pace on the straight, but we were definitely all over them in the corners, and that definitely showed as we went up the grid to secure a P9. I'm going to leave you guys with the highlights, but until then, I'll see you guys later. And also, if you want to see me, I also am starting to stream on Twitch a lot more, so twitch.tv/vesikk, so pretty much my gamer tag. I do stream quite frequently. I stream with friends a lot, so you can expect a lot of friends to be in my streams, and also expect some Halo and Apex. I stream those quite often. But until then, guys, I'll see you later.